rise one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Talk the Walk radio show with Christina Eve on Elation Radio. I am your host, Christina Eve, and I am excited about tonight. Tonight we are going to have a deep discussion, and this is for men and women that we're going to be talking about. So we are going to break the myths, so to speak, but we're going to have deep conversation. Before we begin, and without further ado, in welcoming you guys, I also want to bring on right now our special co-host guest who's in the house tonight, Mr. Carl. Are you on the line?
Yes, we are, Christina. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Woohoo! Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. So I would like you to please just share a little bit about who you are and, what you do. Just share a little bit with our listeners tonight before we get into this discussion. I say that because people are already texting me and messaging me from that Facebook post announcing tonight's show. Like, all right, wait, listen in, and just hear us out first. So if you could just share, a little bit about you real quick to those that are listening in.
Absolutely, Christina. Well, once again, my name is Carl Cyprian. I am the founder, CEO, and owner of Action Valley LLC. One of the things that we do, we're a social networking company. We rebuild culture, connection, and recruit passion. So this is like the type of different things that we do. We like to connect people within our community and within all cultures.
Wow, that's awesome. And you almost said that and just all in one breath. But that's incredible. That is incredible. No, and I know that you being active in the community and just with, our brothers and sisters, I just commend you for your, dedication. And I'm just we're honored to have you on, with us today on the show. And please do, when I first contacted you, hey, would you like to be, I know I just jumped the gun. Hey, I just immediately reached out to you. And tonight's topic that we're going to be discussing is actually a topic that came from you. So if you could share that topic, and I'm actually giving the microphone to you right now. So if you want to open that up as to sharing the topic and, why this would be very good to, bring up in discussion tonight, what the women and men can hopefully learn from and embrace with this topic.
Yeah, okay, go ahead and put me right on the spot. Let's open this right up.
I got to get right to the nitty-gritty here. You know me.
Yeah, let's get right into that topic, Christina. What we hear from my own experiences, I like to speak from my own perspective and from some of the different events and things I have been in around town, is why aren't men committing more to relationships or to a relationship? So one of the things I'm hoping that we gain tonight is some insight as to why men are we afraid to commit to relationships, or some of the reasons why that might be. So I'd like to go ahead and, like you said earlier, put aside some of those myths. Is that a myth or is that a reality?
Well, do tell. Do tell.
Okay. Well, once again, I can only speak from my perspective. Social media, as we know, is a very big market for a lot of communication. Oftentimes we do go ahead and hear about breakups or lack of commitment from either the female or the male perspective, and we just kind of want to identify that. At a lot of my events, we find that there's more women at times that will come to my previous events from like last year, and the men will not show up. So some of these women would ask, why would the men not show up, or are they lacking in commitment, or are they scared? So we want to go ahead, Christina, tonight, and let's go ahead and dive into that and kind of give some of the men an opportunity to speak up and see, is it a commitment that we're scared of, or is it what could be some of the things that kind of keep us separate and kind of keep us away from going into a commitment?
Okay, yes, and I do want to open the lines up, but you made some really good points there. And one of them, and for me, it literally, I grew up with a lot of uncles. My grandfather, a lot of guy cousins, and I've always been really close as far as like guy friends, high school, things of that nature. So this is like from all walks of life. So I've heard a lot. I was intrigued by, and y'all can probably laugh at me, but that's okay. I'm used to that. Well, I was intrigued, and I am intrigued by the way the man thinks. I kid you not. I love the way men think, the way they operate, the way they think. I've been counseling couples, singles, couples, those engaged, married, since 2012. I've been doing that a lot. And what I have learned through a lot of this in the process is that it's not that men are afraid of commitment in itself per se, but for some, they just need to be sure. And the ladies are probably going to roll their eyes, put their hand on their hip, leg out to the side. They could be mad at me all they want. But the bottom line, here we go. Yeah, the bottom line, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Those that know me know I'm just going to speak it plain, right? And it's the reality is that plain, simple fact, it could be either timing or he just doesn't like her enough to make that commitment. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. If a man walks away and uses that as, that's why I said some men could probably disagree. People may disagree with me. This is what I've learned over the years in helping people. Men will have that tendency if they don't see that things are going to fit. Men have that innate nature in them to be the head of household. But we as women have run rampant with our independent self, with feminism, with everything else, to forgetting that submissive, to forgetting that men, we have to be able to understand one another on that more emotional and intimate level. That doesn't mean spreading your legs right away. We're not vaginas on legs. Okay, we have minds, but we all operate different. But if we as people can scratch what we've experienced, what we've gone through, things we're seeing in our reality, oh, I'm broke, or I have this, or if we just give ourselves an emotional, spiritual enema of all things that we've imprinted in our own mind, things that we've come to accept because of external, circumstances, previous relationships, we begin to stereotype. Now I'm talking about men and women. We begin to generalize. A man becomes an a-hole when he wants to break up because a woman's pressuring him to commit. Oh, he did it. Oh, he's not. He's an a-hole now. He this, he that. Same thing goes for women. Oh, she's a hoe. She's loose. She's that. Whatever the case may be, because she isn't. And a lot of people use the excuse, so-and-so isn't ready. I say so-and-so as far as a male or female. To me, it's not about not being ready. If you look at it, it's more a perspective of timing and about being able to just get it right with this person. And I know because I've been seeing. So, do you have anything to share with that?
I do, and I totally concur with that, Christina. I like to go ahead and share. I like how you talked about the the family piece at first. If I could go back to that point, I have a brother, but I'm the youngest of 5 children. So my older sisters, as I watched them, and they were all strong with their careers, with their hobbies, with college, excelling in school. My brother being strong, willed as he is. I'm thinking about a young boy excelling a lot of different things. I could not fathom how my father kept the household together with all the strong women, in the household. And so, seeing them in their early 20s, looking for marriage, ready for marriage, having their careers, talking about having children, all this and that. Well, here I am getting through my high school and getting ready to go into college, and I'm thinking about what sport am I going to play, and you know, and what other type of things I'm going to do. So, quite frankly, oftentimes I'm just speaking from my perspective, this may be a maturity moment. We all have heard that, and this may be a myth that women mature faster than young boys. That was totally evident within my household. As I see my sisters excel rapidly, I'm like, those are the type of ladies or women that I would like to meet because I see them being so successful. I see them being early in their 20s looking for commitment because they were totally ready at that time. It took me to believe it or not. That's why I got to be my 30s and 30s. After I got past all the things that I wanted to do that took my attention away, that are recognized things that I thought about even wanting to commit to something. You know, so
wow.
I mean, yeah. So you know, so sometimes it takes a long time to for the men to go ahead and get to that commitment level because we may have other things that grab our attention. And so, like kind of what you said earlier, if you're dating, you're seeing someone, it may be timing for the men from a men's perspective, but you also the timing, like you said, from the women's perspective. I can only speak from my experience watching my sisters. They were excelling in their career, wanting to be married and having kids and taking care of their family and their home. For me, it took a while for me to gather that. And so it's all about a timing side. It's not bashing either one. But from my side of it, it was a timing perspective.
Right? Yeah, because, I mean, you hear so many times that, you know, oh, I passed him in high school, or we've been friends online for da-da-da, and we just clicked one day. And once again, it happens to do with time, you know, it has to do with timing. But I have a message here. Carlos had messaged and said, which I have to, let me see. It says, so for some men, it's about their freedom and independence and afraid of, so it's not commitment issues. They're afraid of the woman just literally hook, line, and sinker, basically, and like, you know, tying him down and, you know, that control and that no, stay home type thing and not let, so it's not necessarily the fear of commitment. It has to do with, you know, their freedom and their independence. So for me, once again, it falls back to timing, and he's just not, you know, like a lot of women, we have that innate desire, you know, we want to be taken care of, and, you know, we have desires just like men have desires.
Right,
and
right.
With that as well, I mean, you know, some women, you know, it all depends, you know, what they like. They've been taught wrong. These young girls are growing up learning from what society says, you know, so it's quicker to offer herself physically versus giving him something that he can grasp intellectually, that he could, you know, and you read this time and time again. A lot of the times it's like, well, boost the man's ego, make him feel that he's needed. That's another thing that falls into the category of commitment. Why would a man, this is just hypothetically speaking here, why would a man make that commitment and want to settle down with a woman that runs a tight ship, period? Because that's not allowing him to be the man if she wants to wear the pants or the shorts. Can I get an amen somewhere? I'm just playing. No, seriously.
Amen and a high five. And Christina, I like to a little more on that one. Air high five.
No, I know. I'm getting a couple more messages. Go ahead.
But, yeah, you hit that so much in the nose right there. I think let's go back to the nature part, like what you're saying.
Yes.
A man with his nature, we're built to be hunters. We're not built to be hunted. Okay, so that's been since the beginning of time. We like to be the head of the household.
Yeah.
But as far as like a commitment, let's say for example, I could commit to working out. I could commit to running. I could commit to hiking. I could commit to having the right diet for my health reasons. But I'm in control of all that because that's something that I desire. It's something that I want to do for myself. But if my partner that I don't get to know that well is not sharing in that, but wants to go ahead and lead their own interests, that may take me away from like what you alluded to earlier, saying, well, I can't commit to that yet. I can't commit to that love because I still have my interest over here. I can commit to that, but it's all about submissiveness. I think that a lot of men that I have spoken to, we know that we talk about being submissive, and it says, when you get a wife, for wives to be submissive. But I'm a firm believer that a man can be submissive as well. And I'm saying that because it takes two to tango, and you got to understand what she wants and her wants and needs and desires, as well as what you want her to have with you. So it's a two-way street on that. I need to be submissive to her wants and needs too. But I think when you said earlier about a woman maybe wanting to lead, it's a different. Let's talk about shifts. Let's talk about like in the 60s, and not going so far back, not trying to tell my age here, or even in the 70s, but you had more commitment in relationships. You had more marriages, a two-family home. Let's shift now 30 years later. You may have a single-parent home, which is not bashing either or, but there's a difference in there. There's a difference in there's more options. And let's talk about that word now. There's more options, more career options, and maybe more female options. So why do I have to, if I'm dating and if I'm okay that for her just to date me and she's allowing for me to just date her and not be committed to her, that's the most of our path and give us more options so we don't have to be committed to that game. Should I say, going to free something.
Wow, and I like that. I like how you, I kid you not, I immediately felt like crickets, not for, when you said about a man being submissive, and then I was like, if we were on a live, like audience, there would be a handful of people gulping or shaking their heads or like, wait a second, and then crickets, that pause. But no, that was a really, really good point, and I like that. So I believe, so do you think it's more like reciprocation then, balance? Because I think open communication has a lot to do with that. So you're saying that in a sense that being submissive will come both ways to a certain extent. Is that correct?
That is totally correct. And how that comes from, like Christina was saying, is that an open line of communication. And like I said, I know as men, I'm just speaking from my perspective. I used to have big people. I may still struggle with some of that, but it's hard to change that for me to be submissive to that. If I'm gonna like something, I gotta be pretty much actively open to change, open to good days with that, open to bad days with that, or whatever. I have to be open to it. I have to communicate. I have to talk to it. I have to nurture it. I have to expect that again. I have to grow into it. I said the hardest thing I have come in yet. So I got to fertilize it. I got to know. I got to pull weeds away. Because I take comfort for me to want to do that. And with that faith, it's going to be worth it with that faith. That support for the good. And the passion, yes, as men, are speaking from my perspective. But do I want to put that work in to keep that, to make that commitment? And that's something I think we got to be honest with myself. And my goal is to go that 100% that every mile to fertilize water to nurture her, pull out the dead weeds. And in return, when I see that Yeah, John, I know that John for is probably going to want to do the same thing for me. I got to put in that effort. If I'm not going to, then it's wasting her time, wasting my time as well.
Wow, well, amen to that. And that's something, I do have a couple more messages, but I won't reveal those until, I do want to open the lines up just to see if anyone has anything, that they would like to comment on. This is all just speaking in love tonight, just from our perspectives. Yeah, so we will open up the lines in a little bit. But I did want to share, this gentleman would like to be anonymous, but he believes that sometimes it's the fear of change, that men have been single for so long, or because of their life experiences, that they become set in their ways. So it's basically a fear of change as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
That is so very good. That is so very good. And I'm just so glad that Mr. Anonymous brought that point up tonight. High five with that. Let's talk about that. Let's expand on that for a moment. The change factor. If I'm already comfortable with the things that I'm doing, or people in general who are comfortable with what they're doing, it's not a bad thing to spend time with yourself if you're comfortable. Once again, I hate to keep on doing it, but alluding back to a career, alluding back to a hobby, or something that makes you extremely happy, being that CEO, being that boss, something that you have a great deal of passion about. Now you have something. Now you know one thing you're lacking is possibly love. So that automatically is going to be changed. When you have a passion to create your empire, to take your family, your siblings, at work, and I think you bring this in too, Christina. You may be committed to a ministry that is a good thing, and so those commitments are so strong. We're committed to that, but now the love comes into man, and am I willing to give up all those things that I'm very passionate about and take this chance? What's going to happen? What's the unseen thing? Am I going there? What's going to change my direction? How is she going to be? And we go into the fear factor, and we make those become big elephants on our chest versus getting out and experimenting and seeing that I can get past the fear. Because the last time I heard, love is good. Love conquers all. So, the only way I can tell this Mr. Anonymous gentleman is that you got to get past that fear and know that you can have everything on this life and on this planet. It's temporary. But love is something that's joyful and that lasts. Your car, you can drive today and you can wreck it tomorrow. But you can love somebody deeply today, and something happens later on down the line, and that love will never leave your soul if you're that deep with that person.
Wow, that does explain that well. And for me, and when I first, in reading that and sharing it here on the air, I mean, do you think it could be pride or ego as well that would prevent the change? And this is geared towards men and women, but it's nice to have a man reaching out, kind of getting, putting his, I love this, like, they're afraid of being tied down, so they need their freedom and independence, fear of change because they're set in their ways. But do you think that pride or ego is a factor in that?
Of course. I really believe that pride and ego can be enormous factors in making a commitment. For example, some of my past experiences, some of the events I've held, it's like we were saying a moment ago too as well, is that the change or the nature of a man is once again is to be a hunter. So for him to be set in his own ways it's hard to change. It's hard to, like, he wants to be the pursuer versus the pursued at times. So I'm only speaking from talks that I've had, from experiences that I had. It's like we don't want possibly the female to make us have that change, because then we feel that she's more superior than us.
Mm-hmm.
So we can have pride in that factor, which in turn, really all she's trying to do is make that first move, because we haven't made that move. And so that's a shift in time right now. Before, I know my father, when I hear my father and my mother talk about how my father used to court her, I mean, they just know those stories. I'm like, I almost had to walk out the house. It got to be so fun up in there. But anyway, nowadays it's like, and I'm just only speaking from a little bit of experience. I'm thinking there may be some ego, there may be some pride. And I'm only speaking from my own perspective, until I got a little mature, that I understood that it is okay for that female to meet you halfway, because nowadays females are so strong, so career focused, so strong in so many different ways, that it's hard for me to go ahead and do things that live to that part of it. So that was a fear factor, that was a ego factor, that was a pride factor. I'm like, let's talk about this before you come in. I'm like, another example, like Cyprian dating, and saying that you go by a million, when your woman comes home, it's all talks about is her work, and the successes that she has, and you don't even take a minute to go ahead and connect with one another. And then you tell a man to do this, and that, and the pain, like, well, hold a minute. We both are working. We both have to live. We both are right. But who is going to be the known leader here? So there's a little ego part of that. There's a little pride part of that. And we've got to, on both sides, try to put that aside and say, you both can lead, but you got to find out where that happy medium is going to be.
Mhm. And that leads me, and that I mean, you keep bringing up some excellent points. And in hearing that, this to me, we're still talking about this freedom, independence, sphere of change, set in your ways. I really want to focus on that. And if you don't mind, I definitely want to have a part 2 to this and move into, because, talking about if the man's not making the move, there's women that are hunting. They need to settle down. And there's women that are proposing to the men as well. So that we're going to bring up on the next show. But what I wanted to express, for those that are listening tonight, sometimes, just as far as, the freedom, I'm reiterating here a little bit because I had a couple people reaching out that are actually agreeing to that. But to me, and what you were saying, Carl, as well, is I believe that it takes sacrifice and compromise in a relationship, period. Period. And I believe that ego and pride get in the way of that sometimes, between two people. So that can be that harboring effect, emotionally, where you don't feel that closeness or connection because you got two power heads, or no one's budging or someone's, so I just believe firmly that, it's that compromise and that sacrifice, in any relationship for that matter. But in order for that man to decide to commit, so it's not about the woman trying to mold herself, or vice versa, having the man mold himself to appease one another. And that's why with me, I haven't dated for 9 years. People are like, you have to. No. I do get asked out, but my thing is I desire a friendship in advance. Let's talk more. Like we have to, because to me, that solidifies when you're friends with somebody, you trust them, you admire them, you respect them, and you appreciate your friend. So if people are moving and jumping into emotions and everything else, which it's been proven that emotions, not necessarily emotions. That's where you hear, oh, we fell out of love and da-da-da because y'all were being led by lust. The chemistry is known to fade and die within 6 months to 2 years. So if you don't have that friendship to fall back on or be established by that foundation, that's what makes it a lot more difficult too. And women, a lot of women don't understand that. They will, just from a woman's perspective, I've seen that a lot because they get excited. Oh, this man is reaching out to me. You could have 5 men reaching out to you, honey. So, you know what I mean? It's just, I just believe that, that communication, with people, know the expectations in advance. Hey, I'm not really looking for anything, but I'm interested in you. Can we talk more? People don't do that nowadays. And they get butthurt when somebody, you know what I mean, is like being different or moving on or they are being too forceful. If we can, as men and women, learn to communicate from the get-go, I think that would surpass all the, emotions that are tied in and being distraught and things of that nature. Because I firmly believe that men require intimacy and emotional connection much more than women. That doesn't break them. That doesn't mean that they have a weakness but I believe that that's part of their manlyhood. And, then it comes back to that, being submissive. So what are your thoughts? See, and I feel, okay, I just got another one. This one's like, he put this in caps.
Bring it on.
I'm like, wait a second, he put this in caps. Sometimes a man is afraid. Okay, so as far as, because we're talking about commitment here.
Yes.
And it's, okay, I have a piece of an article from eHarmony where a man was quoted, "I am not afraid of commitment. I just need to be sure." And then he follows up with, when a man wants to discuss his desires or, what he's thinking about and his feelings or concerns, he's afraid of an emotional reaction, even in him being honest, by the female. And I believe that is with women too. Like a woman or a man would be afraid to discuss their concerns or what they truly desire because of the reaction from the other person. So do you think that would be like a fear of rejection then? What are your thoughts on that?
That is such a good point. That is such a very, very good point. And once again, that is something to definitely filter and soak in. I think that once again the fear factor may come in. To be honest about it, I've asked a panel one time. I said, for a raise of hands, how many in the room, and I had a panel of men and women, how many of you have been broken in your life in a relationship? And not only did every hand from the female go up, but also the men. And mine was one of them. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and be transparent with that situation. So I know oftentimes, unfortunately, my sister's experienced abuse, and I don't want to get deep, but that's a whole different type of subject.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I think when you have been broken and you are beginning to have an open relationship of transparency, it may be hard to articulate that or comprehend or state some things that are really going on. From a perspective, we may feel viewed as weak because we have been broken before, versus a divorce, versus maybe our parents were divorced, or some type of different things that went on in a man's part, as well as a woman, because let's be honest, we all are going to go through some things in life, and I just think that you spoke a moment ago about the relationship and open communication. You have to become that. You have to become that friend first, and you know what? I feel commit to having a friend commit to having that female as your friend first. And you can start to, like you're saying, have that open line of communication, don't be sexually attracted. Try it. Practice it for, practice it for 30 days, 60 nights, whatever days it takes. But you got to make a change somehow to get into a commitment. A true commitment requires the relationship in an open line of communication. And although we all have to do it, you got to feel transparent enough to go ahead and share that with the other person. And don't worry about what their reaction may be. Because, truth be told, let's say if a man, if we do have an ego or pride, if we're afraid to share that because of how we're going to be viewed, then maybe she's not the right one for you.
Exactly. Okay. I'm glad you said that so he could hear you. Okay.
On both sides.
And you're right. But, and I think insecurity might have to do with that because I myself, had been years, as far as like sexual abuse, domestic violence, things that I have experienced, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm different from the bunch or da-da-da. I am, my own person. I didn't allow those situations to, even though I've been single as long as I have, it's more of the fact that I'm not going to make that choice that's going to put me in that situation to, and well, of course, then applying faith and praying, but I'm going to address things in advance. I'm going to say things in advance, have that open communication in advance. And insecurities are going to surface because that's natural and we're human. But at the same time, if you mum about it and not say anything, and you're absolutely correct. And if you feel that you can't openly talk to this person, then that goes all the way back to when, the beginning of the show. And I'm saying that, the same thing that I'm sorry, I'm just looking over my notes right here. Yeah, because we did talk about a lot of different things. So, talks about that timing and him not really being into her and, vice versa. So I just believe and what are your thoughts then? I really wanted to bring this up tonight as well, because we're talking about the commitment, for men and women. I know we've been leaning a little bit more towards men, but we will have a part 2 for those that are listening.
Oh, yeah.
We will have we're leaning on to a 3, and because I'm getting more messages, but I don't have time to read them all tonight. But I just believe that it's more, as far as commitment, it has more of an internal than an external thing. And internal doesn't mean he's screwy in his head or he's, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or, or her too. Maybe they are. But to me, we're talking about why a man or woman is afraid of commitment. So do you believe that some people are really just don't want to get married and afraid, but at the same time they want that intimacy? You know what I mean? So when it gets to that point of, hey, can we settle down now? Things are going good. No, on to the next one. Kind of set, a cycle that develops and, what are your thoughts on that?
Excuse me. That's a very, once again, I tell you right on. That is such a very valid point. Are you going to go down that same mountain and go through that same cycle again? Is it something internal versus the external part of that? So I totally get fair with that part. I think that's something that maybe something we'll discuss it. Once again, it's on the next time we're on the show. But it's until you're able to break that cycle of going around the same mountain or going around in the same circle again, and you have that internal dialogue that, once again, we mentioned earlier, it's a fear factor, the part of where it's pride or ego from both sides, afraid of change. Once again, commitment is relationship. It is communication. A part of those is very essential to open that commitment part up before you can even start thinking about commitment. And so as a man or as a woman, we're going to continue to go around that same mountain because once again, pride and ego, that's a sinful spirit to have, and all it does is block your blessing. So until we can get past that part and say, well, hey, look at yourself now. Don't get me wrong, though. I think it's very important to talk about. It's not something that we're cycle, something that we're just crazy or just ignorant our minds or whatever like that. But it takes time to mature at a certain time, a certain level. We talked about timing, and until you're willing to accept change and make that change is just not going to happen. And you could be alone you could be by yourself. I think you mentioned a moment ago, Christina. It's been like 9 years. You're just knowing you're perfectly happy with what you've accomplished, possibly because of the things you've went through and what you've overcome. So some things are timing. It's not that you have to make that commitment right now with somebody. It's just that we may be in different seasons within our life. And then when we're able to come out of that season, hopefully we can find that other that is feeling the same way. Because we could continue to look for that perfect one. I know men like to say, I need to find that perfect woman, and women that say, I need to find that perfect man, that perfect gentleman. But what is perfect? I've never met anyone perfect. So the only thing I could go by is that I'm coming to you with baggage, you're probably coming to me with baggage. So let's go ahead and put that on the table. I'm in a different season of my life. Are you in a different season of your life? Now let's go ahead and pack these bags and go on a vacation again.
I mean, to me, it just falls back to open communication. With me, I will say, I've been single for 9 years. I have mental cringe. You must be crazy. You're Hispanic. You must be crazy. Or hey, are you bi? No, I mean, right away, don't even. And here's me. I shared as long as I've been single, because my past is. It's gonna be a movie, but anyway, it's gonna be a dramedy, some drama and comedy. But yeah, right. But here is just, and I bring myself up because I know we have all gone through things. I've gone through things that everything you could think of that could happen to a person has happened to me for 40 years in my life. I'm 42 now, and I have people saying, you must be afraid of commitment. You must be afraid of da-da-da. You must be da-da. And I'm like, well, you're speaking that. I'm not speaking that because I'm not looking for a perfect man. I'm not looking for a perfect marriage, a perfect wedding. I'm looking for an imperfect man, right, that we can grow together because I'm imperfect. I'm not bringing any baggage. That's another reason why I remain single, which is going to be a point in our next show. Some people shouldn't be looking when they aren't even over what they've experienced. If they can't drive by that motel without cringing and being scared, if they can't, so it's not necessarily, and this has to do with the commitment, because sometimes people can't commit to something because they got too much baggage. Yeah. Whether it's emotional baggage, the drama, da-da-da. So that's another thing. You got these women and men, well, she needs to settle down with me, or it's been 2 years, and da-da-da. It doesn't matter. Time doesn't heal. Love does. Have patience with one another. You know what? I'm not ready to commit right now because I'm still going through counseling, or I'm still da-da-da-da, or I'm still needing prayer, or I'm kind of afraid of because for a while there, I was afraid I had a fear of rejection and a fear of abandonment. I'm going to lay that out right now. I'm being real. I'm very open and very honest too. Same thing, if I'm talking to a man because I'm interested in him, my whole focus is going to be on him. I'm not going to entertain anybody else because my focus needs to be here because I desire marriage in the long run. So I won't say that up front because I believe people need to get to know each other and build that friendship. If you see, okay, well, I don't see anything there that shows lifetime with me with this person, I prayed about it, then we could still remain friends, work together, da-da-da. So I think people come into things more being led by, I shouldn't say emotions, but being led more through the desire just to have that companionship, just to say that they have someone, so the desire becomes something of more of a selfish thing and not looking at the needs of the other person and where they're at in life. So I believe, if two people want to date and have a long, courting or courtship is great. But once again, it has to be that open communication. So I want to close this out with giving some advice over those that are listening tonight. I know I've got a few more messages. We will share those messages online on our social media to allow you guys to express your thoughts. This is all in love tonight. But yes. I would give advice to have an open heart and an open mind. Stop bringing up what you have gone through because you're reliving it, and it's a cycle. And that's how you continue to bring those soul ties. You can't bring all of that into something what God is trying to bless and, what's new. God's about renewal. God's about restoration. God's a God of second chances and miracles. But if we have that mindset, we have the stubborn, prideful, egotistical ways or whatever, so my advice would be to get the mirror out for those that it's not about commitment. Stop thinking too much into it. Get the mirror out. Even pray about it and ask God, what is it in me that I can remove or overcome or be delivered from? I want to be free to love, free to grow, because that in itself is when you can love and forgive yourself enough, you're open and ready to move into that with somebody else. So my advice is just to have like I've been doing, have that open heart, have that open mind, and have, most importantly, open communication. So what is it, brother, that you would advise to people that are listening tonight as far as this fear of commitment for men and women? What would you advise for them?
Boy, Christina, I can tell you that's good right there. That just takes the cake. What you just got there said.
Oh. Amen, and I second that.
I got to give you amen on that one. All fairness, thank you. I would say definitely wake up each day with a positive mindset. Knowing that you got through your day, whatever it was it at work, was it driving your car, you got home safely, you were able to touch base with your family on the phone, love the sick one, you were able to purchase a car or home. Think about the things that have been great for your day, that you're able to breathe today, and motivate yourself by that. You got through this day. And like you said, pray for tomorrow that I may not have that commitment of that love of my life yet, but tomorrow is not promised.
Yes, optimism. Yes.
That tomorrow that I can still have that same positive mindset, and I know that a positive mind, they attract other positive people. So when you surround yourself about like-minded other individuals that are looking or possess the same type of qualities, you'll find that love in your life within that circle.
Oh, that right there was that was just like that icing. We're already getting that icing coming on now. I have a sweet tooth. I'm just seeing that icing on the cake. That right there has to do with law of attraction. What you just said right there, having that open heart, that open mind, it's that law of attraction, and that person, yes, that person that's there that will commit, because this is a mutual thing, it should be, would be drawn to you by that law of attraction. So it's not about if a man ain't ready, no man, no matter, and I know you've seen it on memes, I've heard it on TV shows and movie. If a man or a woman is not ready, it doesn't matter how good you are, how amazing you are as a person, if so-and-so isn't ready, then, there's nothing you can do about it. But that, and there's also saying as well of a man, and I've posted this, and then we're going to close. I'm going to end up, I really want to hear more about what, just what you got coming up next with your business. But I just want to say this real quick, is that a man only changes not because of the woman loving him, but because he loves her. I wanted to throw that out there. So I'm not looking at my messages right now. I know some people are going to be saying, you get that. I'm like, but seriously, man, I look at my parents. They've been married for 45 years. My pops didn't change because, my mom, loved him. Let me talk about that ride or die. I mean, my parents have been married 45 years.
Wow.
And
amazing.
With them, that right there, he changed because he loves her. So when people get that in their minds, you can't change a person to adapt or want to commit or make them commit or, and you can't even pray to God that this person commits to you. You have to say, let thy will be done. If this person moves on, it wasn't the timing and there was just something that didn't fit. And you have to be okay with that. In order to be okay with that, go into this friendship with an open mind, an open heart, no expectations from this person. Because when you have those expectations, you want to commit and you're not talking about it. I'm just saying for people listening, but this other person, you have no idea what they want, but we have to stop, So we will come into this part 2. If you can just closing out, just share a little bit what you got going on next, what's coming up with you.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Christina, for that plug. You guys go to our Facebook page of Passion Valley LLC. We are so excited about September 16th. It's going to be at the Tempe Watershed right here on Lakeshore Drive. We're going to have a meet and greet networking event coming on. It's called Conversations and Cocktails. So come on out, enjoy the advertisers. It's a professional networking event. We're going to have boat rides. You're going to be able to meet other Mind Life professionals. And then we got another couple of events coming up to close out our fourth quarter of this year, where we're going to have other like-minded professionals come together for some professional networking. One thing I can't let out the hat yet, but I think it's been a blessing from this, last year I've been praying so deeply for, is next year I finally landed a venue for the full entire year. So I'll be having first Saturday of the month. So I can't let that bag out the hat yet, but y'all stay tuned for that.
Yes. All right. And then, so do you have this, okay, so and then that event's going to be like a continual thing then?
Yeah, it's gonna be the next couple of events. We're gonna have game night. We're gonna have a paint and sip. We're gonna have adult game night, paint and sip, and different things out there on the deck, by the lake, all kind of different things. And then when we have first Saturday all next year, that is going to be the exciting icing on the cake.
Yes.
As passionate as you hear me, we want to bring passionate people, purpose, and connections together. So whatever passion a person has, we want that to come to Passion Valley and have them be exposed. It's all about giving. So you guys go ahead and send something to the Facebook. Let's go ahead and expose your passion. Let's go ahead and collaborate. Let's go ahead and work this thing out for a brand new, closing out this quarter in a brand new 2018 full of positivity, purpose, and passion.
Amen. I love that. So in closing, how do people get in touch with you? Because I know you did share your Facebook page, but just as far as, with social media, how can people get in touch with you that heard about these events and would like to take part or participate? Or
yes, they can go ahead and inbox me. My first name is on there. You can go ahead and go to the social media at Cultural Connection. That's our Facebook page on Pasco Valley. The telephone number for texting me, you can go ahead and get a hold of me. Also, one of my groups, subgroups for Pasco Valley is called Entrepreneurs of the Valley. They can go ahead and get in touch with me with that one. Go ahead and like it. Post anything that you're doing. We're happy to share it each and every day. Your positive remarks, positive thoughts of the day. In that particular group, within both the groups, we like to definitely encourage everyone about what they're doing. So you can call me, text me, like the page Pasco Valley LLC with the Entrepreneurs of the Valley, and post something there. If you don't get in touch with me from one of those areas, I'll try to get in touch with you as well.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. And I hate goodbyes. I don't like that. I don't even, going somewhere, I'm just like, what, kiss, hug, shoo, I'm gone. I'm gone because we will be on again. We will be on again. We are going to continue this conversation, moving into just a whole other thing. This is about love and relationships on Talk the Walk with Christina Eve. We are on Elation Radio. And Mr. Carl, can you just go ahead and just take us out? Any last words that you have for everybody? Just take us out. Any last words?
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We hope that you got some things out of this from just another man or another woman's perspective. We enjoyed you. We look forward to learning from you too as well, because it's all about rebuilding your culture, one relationship at a time.
Amen. Thank you for tuning in, and next time, join us every Monday night on Elation Radio. It's www.blogtalkradio.com/Elation Magazine. And once again, this is Christina Eve, Talk the Walk Radio Show. We have Mr. Carl Cyprian. And tune in, not next Monday, but the following Monday. We will keep you posted, so tune in then. Love y'all. Good night.